Now, as soon as you tell anyone, this is my second point, as soon as you tell anyone that you are going to go out of that salad bowl, that you are going to try something new, there is a universal response, which is two-part. First, it's impossible, and B, you're going to die. Which should be music to your ears. I'm very used to this now. Even when I told my friends I was going to write a book, they told me I was going to die. I have no idea. Just it's impossible, and you will die, is what I always come back with. And about 10 years ago, a couple of friends and I decided we were going to buy these camels and ride across this big desert in southern Arabia. What were we thinking? I don't know. We'd never even seen camels before. I'd never ridden a horse, but nonetheless, here we go. And the naysayers lined up at our door. A million reasons why we couldn't do this. We'd never find camels strong enough to do this journey. We'd never find Bedouin willing to travel with us. We'd never get permission to go into Saudi Arabia. It's a closed kingdom at the time. We would be bitten by snakes and stung by scorpions and lost in sandstorms and beheaded, certainly, because look at us, we're beheading victims waiting to happen. There were a million reasons why we should not do this journey. And the irony, as you hear this litany of reasons why you don't want to confront your fear or get out of your salad bowl, is that it's usually your buddies at the bar or in the next cubicle are telling you, so your mother-in-law as you're carving the roast beef on Sunday dinner. And I've always think it's very important to listen to them. Because first of all, they're giving you your whole risk management plan right there. Thank you very much. You can write all this stuff down. Secondly, you listen to them because you love them. And you're going to keep loving them. You know that this is just the way they are. They can't help it. They're bozos. And your job in life is to ignore these bozos. Because they will tell you at every chance that you cannot get out of that salad bowl. There's a preponderance of bozosity in our society these days. I know this because I am currently in a death match with bozosity, and I've been wrestling it. It's like a cage match that's been going on for a few years, because 5 years ago to the week, this little thing showed up on the doorstep. Now, you can imagine, the bozos had a field day. Bruce, you don't understand. So let me tell you it's over. It's just sell the traveling gear, and because, no, it's done. Here, it's done. No one came up 5 years ago and said, hey, you should probably take your little guy up to the Bugaboos by the time he's 4 months old, or who knows, kayaking in Chile, or trekking in Argentina, Patagonia. Your surf vacations are going to be great, and heck, why don't you walk across the Purcells with the little guy? So I started joking that, the biggest job in my life was just to raise a little guy who wasn't a bozo, because he was getting exposed to all this bozosity. And people would come up after the show and say, oh, Bruce, I totally get it, man. I totally get it. That bozo point. It's wonderful. What's happening next? What's your next trip? And I'd be like, oh, we got another one coming along. Dude, it's done. It's done. 2. You cannot do 2. There's no way. Once again, and and you start to be your own bozo and think, I can't do this. And this summer, my wife and I, we had a 10-month-old at the time. We went off to Georgia, which is a little old Russian satellite state north of Turkey. And we bought a couple horses, and we trekked for about 80 days through the mountains here. And I'm not saying that because it was a big deal or there was no one else we met there. We just met shepherds, and we lived off the honey that they raised and the milk and the bread that they cooked. And what mattered to me was that I spent this extended period with my boys and my wife without the phone ringing, without emails coming in, because I'm the type of guy who gets distracted. And I was able to share that love of the outdoors with them. And I know that it changed my relationship with both of them and my wife in a way that I never could have. And had I listened to even my own bozosity, I would have turned back from that and said I couldn't do that. And certainly, you can imagine, there were many other bozos saying, Georgia is not the right place for an 8-month horse trip with your 2 little boys. You need to really hone your skills of ignoring those bozos.